Hello everyone, welcome to DSS online classes. We will discuss class 11 geography second chapter, the origin and the evolution of the earth.
Reasons. First of all, the inner planets are too hot or too warm for the gases to get condensed. First of the reasons. The second, the solar winds in these regions are intense, and again there is less gravity in this region which does not kind of hold the gases. So you have the outer planets, which are predominantly gaseous planets, and we also call them as Jovian planets because they are bigger in size. Now moon is one of the natural satellites of Earth. Now when Darwin tried to explain, he said there is a dumbbell shape that is present, and this dumbbell shape finally leads to the evolution of the moon. So you have this dumbbell shape broke down and you have formation of moon that took place. Now the next important is the evolution of Earth. Now evolution of Earth is very important because when we will be talking about evolution, we will be breaking this under two headings, that is evolution of the land, that is the landform or the crust you can say, and the evolution of the atmosphere. So one is lithosphere and other is atmosphere. So you would have the two evolutions that we would understand side by side in this section. Now when we talk about evolution of lithosphere, how did land evolve on the earth? How did land come up into existence? So what basically happened was, initially earth was very hot, barren and a kind of rocky structure. So there was no element of life that could be present on the earth. Over the years there was increase in the density, and that increase in the density led to increase in the temperature. Now when there was increase in the temperature, what happened? The material which were present on the earth got separated based on the density. So the material with higher density got accumulated into the core, and the low density material were towards the crust. So you had high density material which moved towards the core, you have low density materials which remain towards the crust. So you had the segregation based on the density that occurred in the lithosphere. So you have the three layers, the core, mantle and the crust, and the highest density material went into the core. Now what happened? There was formation of the moon that was taking place simultaneously. As a result, there was lots and lots of heat that was generated up, and this heat led to differentiation on the earth's surface. So the impact on the earth's surface was, there was differentiation in the landform that took place because of the heat generated on the moon, and this was the differentiation that we could see in the form of different layers with high density and low density. So this occurred towards the land. Now what was the scenario in the atmosphere? Under atmosphere there were three basic categories, I could say. The first was the loss of the primordial atmosphere. So the original atmosphere that was present was no more in existence. First factor that led to evolution of atmosphere. The next was the hot interior of the earth, and finally you had the living elements that started up on the surface of the earth, that's the crust, and these living small plants created their own food by the process of photosynthesis, and therefore there was an exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen that started to take place on the atmosphere. So you had a kind of CO2-O2 exchange that took place, and finally what happened was the hydrogen and helium were slowly and gradually stripped off from the Earth's atmosphere, and there was carbon dioxide that came up because of the cooling of the Earth. So you had carbon dioxide, methane, oxygen, helium and nitrogen that finally came up, and then you had the degassing that took place. Now this word is commonly used as such in some of the objective papers. Now what is degassing? Degassing means that the gases are poured from the interior of the earth by means of kind of volcanic activity or certain natural event that takes place. So you have degassing that took place, and the earth slowly started to cool. When earth was cooling, you had water vapor that condensed, and you had carbon dioxide which was dissolved in the rainwater, which led to decrease in the temperature.